In this video, wanted to show the dual full bridge driver. It's the L298 dual full bridge driver. It's very small, but yet very powerful. Amazingly, it takes up to 46 volt during operating, which is impressive. Maximum is 4 amp. And it can drive up to 2 DC motors. One thing you need to know and be careful with, read the data sheet and specification carefully. There's a jumper in here. When you have the jumper on, that's because you're using less than 12 volt. When you use less than 12 volt, the 5 volt pin becomes an output, so you can power up your Arduino. If you're using more than 12 volt, you should always remove the jumper, and the 5 pin here becomes an input, doesn't come an output. The reason why you have to be careful is if you put the jumper in at over 12 volt, because remove the jumper because you're over 12 volt, you could burn your Arduino if you leave the jumper in, so be very careful. I've built a sketch, and this is my first time using this board. It reacts way different than all the others. I had a hard time with the sketch. It was way different. There's no logic for if you want to simulate like a tank and be directional. So I had to look into that in the sketch and create the logic for all this, and as well the value of the pot was different. I believe because the way you connect this board, you can't connect directly. You have to, the negative that comes from the power supplies goes through the circuit with the Arduino, and the plus goes into the board. So you have the negative, but the circuit completes the entire thing. So I don't know if that's the reason, but it was quite hard. I won't go into details in the entire sketch, but you can see that I set up the motor a bit differently. You see here, when you want to go backward, you have to set the motor with a function to digital right, say low high or forward high low, and even the hardest was going left or right. You see your motor A, I had to set it to high low low high on one side, so one would spin on the other side. So if you try it, you'll see that it works like the saber tooth. So forward, I just put it on. So if I set it to forward, backward, and finally left and right. And I'm running at 6 volt on my power supply. So very nice for a small project, and I'll share the sketch if in case you have the same setup. If you want to try I'll leave a link in the description to access the sketch and the circuit.